paradigm of absolute control. And that's why we're just out here doing simple things, pointing out that we're meant to be in nature and be natural. And this is where we find the source that God made to transcend the New World Order. And that's why they want to try to keep us out of it.
I'm angry. I've had enough of these people. They're a bunch of Christian murderers scum. They're on giant death factories keeping babies alive and selling their body parts. What more do you need to know about these people? I go out and face these scum. They literally crawl out from under rocks. They have green looking skin and they run around screaming, we love Satan, we wanna eat babies. I have them on video. Hillary's in the creepy weird sick stuff, man. She sleeps in the same room with that creepy weird woman whose mother wears a hood over her head. What the hell? That woman number one is ugly. Imagine how bad she smells, man. I'm told her and Obama just stink. Obama and Hillary both smell like sulfur. Here to rule vampire pot and the goblins are hobbling round coming after us. My spirit gets close to that evil and I feel it go. We're such self-centered crap. We don't even notice hell itself rising up against us. Millions of pointed people of the very worst type, and I'm so pissed. We're gonna stab your daughter at the mall. We're gonna stab your wife, your son. We're gonna stab you with a butcher knife, and then the police chief is gonna say, we love our Somalis, we love our Muslims. Oh, they're so good, oh, they're so sweet.
I was watching Fox News as I worked out this morning.
That, ladies and gentlemen, was the Alex Jones rants as an indie song. Welcome back once again with the Renegade Troof Masters to Jack, Conspiracy Jack, and Tinfoil. That's the wrong way around. Tinfoil Jack.
Jim.
That's the one. And Conspiracy Jim's third episode of Truth Seeking. How are you doing, Jack, mate?
I'm alright, bro. Fucking looking into stuff, innit? As always. What about you?
Reporting from the depths of the cupboard once again. It's
I'm
starting.
sat here under my neighbour's stairs.
Yeah, it's starting to look more homely.
Yeah, man. I put a little a throw on the wall. I've got a couple of my missus's old coats for soundproofing around me, so they smell kind of nice, kind of damp. There's a lot going on in here.
This week's episode, for anyone that hasn't seen the notification yet, is in fact Geopolitricks. I'm going to give people a brief introduction to the... In fact, no, I'm going to address an issue first. If you're the type of cunt who thinks that because we're all stuck in lockdown, or even the type that did this before lockdown, if you think that it's quite alright to set off fireworks on housing estates when every cunt's got a fucking dog, I hope your kids die on Christmas Day. Honestly, because fuck you. My dog's gone mental for the past 3 days. She's a beautiful soul. She's a wonderful soul. She's as pure can be. She's everything in life that I'm not. And if you put the shits up my dog once more, I will find you and break every bone individually and extremely painfully, finding more and more creative ways to do so. So, back to geopolitics.
Well, just before, and I read a thing on the internet, that said you can help your dogs with that. That expanding foam stuff. If you spray a little bit of that down their ear canal, then apparently after about 6 months or so and a few infections, they can sweat it out. It's not common for them to sweat it out, but it can help.
Well, I've got something new to test then, really, haven't I? I've got to give that a try. Before I do that, before I blow my dog's cranium open with expand and builders foam, we're going to talk about geopolitics. To give people an introduction of what geopolitics is, my sort of interest in this started last year or the year before. Whenever I bought this book, which is called Prisoners of Geography, 10 maps that tell you everything you need to know about global politics by a chap called Tim Marshall. The blurb basically says, all leaders are constrained by geography. Their choices are limited by mountains, rivers, seas, and concrete. Yes, to follow world events, you need to understand people, ideas, and movements. But if you don't know geography, you'll never have the full picture. If you've ever wondered why Putin's so obsessed with Crimea, why the USA is destined to become a global superpower, or why China's power base continues to expand ever outwards, the answers are all here. We're going to take a look at geopolitics today from the viewpoint of the truth seeker. You knew nothing of this topic before today, am I wrong?
No, I started read the book that you've got there. I listened to some fella on YouTube. What I thought was going to be some fella on YouTube reading it, but it was his summary of it plus his sort of annotations, and his annotations weren't really all up to much, if I'm honest. Saying things like this fella on YouTube said that he reckons that the Chinese are going to manage to take over the world because Chinese restaurants are quite popular. And so the information that I have garnered, I don't think I'm going to be up to much for this.
Well, I mean, you may be ahead. We don't know, because what if that's right? What if the whole point in Chinese restaurants over the years was to secretly and ever so slightly using what the white man loves most, which is his stomach.
MSG.
Yeah, well, yeah, MSG, his stomach, the same thing. What if they've used the secret ingredient that is MSG to infiltrate Western society, and they've done so in a way that we wouldn't mind, which is through food? Like, if they came over and tried to push magic or dried lizards as, like, erection problem medication, we'd probably have been like, oh, chill out a minute here. But they've come in with stir fries and salt and pepper chips.
Sweet and sour pork.
And hey, honestly,
you can't knock that.
Salt and pepper chips are the daddy. They're the daddy. We like them a lot. If some people in the chat complaining about volume, tell us if it is quiet, but it doesn't look quiet here. However, what if that was their way in? So you've got basically salt and pepper chips and Huawei phones.
Well, he didn't mention Huawei phones. I think the video was too old, but I don't think that conspiracy was about when that video was made. But he did go on to further his point with the takeaways, saying that these takeaways always inevitably become Chinatowns, and then these Chinatowns grow into being 2 towns big. And I don't think that this guy's ever left his house, if I'm honest. Because I've never been to a Chinatown that's more than like 6 buildings.
No, there's one in Newcastle, and
Is it?
It's 2 streets.
Oh, fucking hell! He might have a point then. Maybe it's just in Manchester. It just looks like one little street, maybe 6 or 7 buildings, and then it's over.
It's 2 streets, and I'll be very blunt. You've never seen more rats in your life. We went to there's a club in the middle of Chinatown called Cosmic Ballroom. Quite a nice little venue. A lot of DJ'd there. Quite a few friends have. We've put raves on there quite a few times. And so to go and smoke a joint, you've got to come out the club, take a right or the left, and you basically double back on yourself. And Chinatown and like the city centre are basically surrounded by the old castle walls of Newcastle. And
so the rats can't escape.
Well, no, wait. So Chinatown is you've got the one side of the street that's full of restaurants, then you've got the back alley that would run behind those restaurants where they put the bins, and then literally like the back side of that alley is the city walls. So to go for a joint, you come out the building, take a left, you got to double back on yourself, so you go past the alley and outside the city wall. And me and my mate were doing that one night. We're smoking a joint, and we look at the city wall, and the city wall's like, it's moving, like it's rippling.
Is it laced?
Well, we were thinking, like, these pills are good, but they're not that good. It's not the cowies. And the more we watched, it was literally a stream of rats pouring over the city wall from the alley where all the restaurants are. And when I mean a stream, I saw 1, 2. Oh shit! There's thousands of them, and they're literally it's like a carpet, a moving carpet coming over this
Some
wall.
might even say a waterfall.
Yeah. It's some sort of.
It's one of them streams that go uphill.
What's one of them? Fucking conveyor belt. A conveyor belt of rats. Well, I mean, we could repurpose dead rats. So why have you not done this? Dead rats, repurpose them as conveyor belts.
Because when you start putting electrics in them, they start setting on fire. I once tried to make a remote-controlled dog out of about 4 rats, half of a rabbit and some mice. And after about 10 minutes of it being turned on, it started overheating. And after about 3 days, when I'd forgotten it was on, the batteries had leaked a little bit. So it's not the safest thing to do.
Hey, just put tinfoil on the inside. It'd be sound.
Would it?
Well, all you need really.
Tinfoil fixes everything, doesn't it? Fucking brain waves, dead rats.
Yeah, man, it keeps the conspiracies out. But in all seriousness, what you need is a heat shield, don't you?
Yeah.
And a tinfoil wrapped around like a bit of metal or something like that. Absolutely fine heat shield. So don't let your rat dog remote control machine dream die. Geopolitricks.
Yes.
So to get us back on track, I'll give people an example of what this book talks about. People may be aware of Russia's meddling in the Ukraine and their constant attempts to, let's say, influence the Ukraine or lead the Ukraine and possess the Ukraine. Now, there's lots of reasons that people hear about this in the news, but the theory put forward in this book, and it's a very rational theory, is that the Ukraine is the Crimea or the Crimean Sea. Now the Crimea it's got a port there that Russia use, and it's Russia's only warm water port. What I mean by that is for part of the year, all of Russia's ports, besides that one, freeze over. So they can't have any imports, no exports, no sort of materials they need to bring in from elsewhere. And obviously, that's an issue for them. So the reason Crimea is such a hotly contested area is Russia really need that to survive, basically, during winter. It's their only chance of getting imports and exports from the sea. That's one example. Now, what I'd like to have a look at is, what are they really doing? What are they really doing? And why do they need certain places? Shall we start with Russia or shall we start elsewhere?
Well, we could start with round there. Like there's in Russian mythology, there's these monsters are like they seem like more like ethereal entities, not like what I normally go on about with the fucking reptilians and shit, but these like the things that can control the weather supposedly. They're spelt with a Z. I wrote it down: Zduhaci, and it's Hidshi or something like that. But they control the wind and the rain, but they've got their own boundaries set in place, and they're supposed to war with each other constantly. So could there be an element of they're trying to remove these from each other to free the area in between from their constant wars in the mountains?
Well, and what, they've got humans doing their bidding for them?
No, they just fight amongst the weather in order to try and better allow them to have better crops or better weather. Basically, they fight amongst themselves, like what with the allegedly what the Americans use with HARP. Like the Americans allegedly have copied this but made it into like a machine. So
Yes.
What if all wars are technology versus magic with a K? Like going far back as like the Romans, where they used to destroy paganism wherever they would go. They would you could argue that paganism would be magic with a K, but Romans with the swords and their armor were very much technologically based.
There's a very good, yeah. I mean, it would make a lot of sense that we're basically, so HARP is rumoured to be a weather control device. Lots of buzz about it, lots of conspiracy surrounding it, and you're throwing a different idea into the hat, and that we're actually fighting off magical forces.
Yeah, trying to get the upper hand on them. So
Are
they've
we winning?
replicated it using technology. Nah, maybe not. Maybe these warring little tribes or leaders of Hadachi or whatever the fuck they were called. It's a
Hitachi,
Slavic word.
don't they
Nah,
make
man,
those magic wands?
Well, there you go then, mate. There's a fucking link there. All they've done is spell the word Hitachi differently and pronounce it differently, and then we've got a link.
Those sneaky little Russian bastards.
They'll do anything, mate. They'll do anything.
Just changed a few things, almost like it was a different word entirely.
Almost
so we
like we
wouldn't
made
know.
it up.
Fucking sly little cunts. I knew there was something wrong.
No.
Well, does this mean that, like, Harry Potter's sort of indoctrination and preparing kids for maybe going into this line of work or not being opposed to this line of work?
I think that you would say that Harry Potter and stuff like that and everything with magic in it is a way of making people think it's purely fantasy.
And
So people will knock it away and being like, oh, it's just kids' fairy tales, you know.
See, I was thinking more like when you give a kid an action man when it's a kid. Well, obviously, you don't give a kid an action man when it's an adult, unless it's got issues, but that's a separate talk.
Either way, it's not a kid when it's an adult.
No. So, yeah, it's like letting your kid play toy soldiers or something, getting them used to that action, being like, oh, yeah, it's just a game. It's just a game. Next minute, oh, you're off to Iraq, son. I'll see you in a bit. You're away. And Harry Potter's just the same, but just getting them used to ideas of the magic realm.
Drive.
Yeah. Yeah, like a pre-recruitment drive.
Yeah, it might be, you know. You never know, like fucking 10, 15 years time from now. Because we've all grown up with Harry Potter, so it's normal to us, and it'll be in the way we speak and what we talk about. Like, we're referencing it now, fucking, 15, 20 years after the first one came out. So, if not longer. So
Yep.
that means that potentially if we was to have children or the generation that would be like 30-year-olds kids or 30 to 40-year-olds kids, then it would sort of be in their lives as well because we'd show it to them. And there'd also be loads of other stuff in the general thoughts of people in the collective consciousness or whatever, if you like, innit?
Now, the problem I've got with this is, where does J.K. Rowling's cancelling from the world fit in? Because obviously, J.K. Rowling at the moment, she is hated by the online community. She's called many things. She's called a TERF, transphobic. A TERF is basically someone that doesn't really believe in, from what I understand, doesn't really believe in is it the rights or the beliefs of transgender people. It's false. That's not what she said at all. She's made some very blunt points, like only women can have periods, and for that she was judged as being all the labels she gets now. She's made a few comments like that. What I propose is that this entire hate campaign focused on J.K. Rowling is people trying to stop the spread of this indoctrination, or perhaps agents on the side of magic trying to interrupt the employment process and being like, hey, if we stop the woman putting out the materials, these kids can't train to fight the magic, and then one day the magic wins.
Well, that would make sense then with the idea that there's ideas out there on the internet I've seen where the people really strongly believe that Russia managed to infiltrate in the 1950s into the UK and US educational systems,
Yes.
and that they would use from there, they would disperse information and lead people to certain thoughts and beliefs.
Communism.
No, it was a way from communism. It was a way to properly dismantle. It wasn't the idea that I can't remember, they have a name for it. It wasn't the idea that they want to take this away. It was the idea that they wanted to, that was their way of destroying society, that type of society. They were there to destroy it. They weren't, from what I've read, people don't believe that they were trying to rebuild anything. They weren't trying
Yeah.
to convert people to out. They were just trying to dismantle it.
Like disinformation campaigns and misinformation campaigns.
Yeah.
And basically spreading,
But through
Not-
universities and colleges.
not chaos, but like some sort of uncertainty or something where it creates a lot of fraction responses and a lot of like controversy and people basically arguing with each other, like we've got now with the level of individualism everyone has now, and the whole my points are more valid than your points. We all have different points. Let's shout at each other and not get anywhere. That sort of mentality is very destructive. Well, it is very destructive, clearly, because look at around us right now. But that would be a very effective tactic to someone to bring into a university and a thought process to promote.
It would, especially if you start introducing like different types of physics and that to try and explain away magic.
Well, that's very true. Especially as I don't know any of them.
What physics? Me neither.
No, magic physics. I'd done little bits of physics, not much, but these were real physics that happened. I even got to meet Brian Cox, but he was far too clever, and me and my mate was stoned as fuck, so nothing got learnt there. Like, our class got to do, I think it was Durham Uni, he was doing a talk at before CERN was built. That's how long ago it was. And we went to this talk, and me and my mate got stoned as shit before we got on the bus. And we ended up getting lost in Durham Uni, locking ourselves in labs that we weren't meant to be in, and then we had to wait for a cleaner to come past to let us out so we could go back to the fucking lecture. But one of the places I do want to talk about that you may or may not have read upon is like the China Seas, the waters surrounding China. They've been in dispute for fucking years, going back to World War II, perhaps even before. Basically, when let's be honest, it was America and the UK. When we decided to say who owns what bit of water, the waters around China were very much split so that China was quite restricted in what it could do. And America had free rein to patrol where it wanted to make sure that China stayed in check. Over the years, China have, they've been cheeky little boys. Cheeky little boys of China. They've been busy little lads. They've expanded their waters. They've also...
by digging away the coastline?
Other way. They've just started pushing boats further out.
They've they'd started digging the sand away and building mountains.
Yeah, they've started chipping their own land in. Let's be honest. Chinese, I wouldn't put it past them.
The Japanese used to do that, man, to expand. I'm sure they used to dig down the other way around, though. I think they dug down the mountains or quarried the mountains to expand the coastlines.
Mental bunch, mate. Absolutely mental bunch. But they eat with sticks, so I don't know. It's a weird one. But we might get into them in a bit, actually, because they're involved. But what China have done is they've started to take in the waters from other Asian countries around them, like the islands and shit like that, and basically claimed that as China Seas. And what you have is a constant sort of stalemate in that region of the world, in the water, because you've got a heavily militarized American fleet that's constantly sailing around there. And you've also got a heavily militarized Chinese fleet that's sailing around there. Now, these seas around China, what's it called? Is it called the Bering Strait? I've got a feeling it's the South Bering Strait. I'm going to have a look into this.
In the waters. I wouldn't have said they was in a stalemate either. I didn't want to interrupt you. I wanted to say they were stagnated.
It's not the Bering Strait. I'm a fucking idiot. That's the bit that's between Russia and America. Chinese Seas. Just so we seem dead like clever in that. It's just called the China Seas. All right, fantastic.
He was almost there.
Yeah, I mean, 4 seas of China.
Only a vowel, innit?
The 4 seas of China: communism, chop suey,
Chopsticks.
Yeah, fucking hell.
And the Chinese.
And the Chinese. But yeah, China Seas. So they are, I think they're home to around 80% of the world's trade, like trade that comes via boat. About 80% of it passes through those seas from the world. But so basically everything that we sell, use, blah blah blah, it's all made there. And as such, it's the busiest boat road on the planet. There's also rumoured to be an insane amount of natural resources and oil down there as well. Now, the reason that America usually have a fleet around there, or so they claim, is to monitor China, make sure they're not going rampant on the seas with a fleet themselves. But what it really is to keep tabs on them, watch them, and let them know that America's there. Be a constant threat without being a threat, just by being there. Now, I've got an idea that that's not what they're both there for. There's something around those seas.
Are you getting this from Pacific Rim?
Never seen it.
Oh, there's these massive monsters called the kaiju that come out of from the gaps between the tectonic plates in the sea. So the Americans are there ready with massive machines to be able to fight them.
Now you're talking.
I think that was in China.
Is that Pacific? Is that what that's about?
Yeah. I'll be honest, it's not a great film. It doesn't even look better than what it is. There's just like I'd say there's like 10 minutes of good film within it. It's worth watching. But
is it anything to do with, what's the one that's to do with Scientology?
I don't think that's got anything. I can't see anything in there that would be.
Scientology film. There's a space or a naval boat film. It's not going to come to mind right now, but there's a film along those lines, like Pacific Rim. It's another like sci-fi disaster naval movie that it's basically funded completely by Scientologists, and a lot of the actors in it are Scientologists. The reason I'm thinking of it is they're quite similar. It's Battlestar, but it's not Battlestar. It's Battle something.
Battleships. That was one. That was
yes,
like
it's Battleships.
That looked like propaganda. That one.
Yes, it's Battleships. It's A4.
Was in it.
Bang, you missed. That fucking could be it. That could be it. You know, possibly. Anyway, yeah. Basically, the idea that you said, I was going to say Godzilla's, but that's Japan.
It might have been in Japan then. I don't know. Kaiju come into the world of Godzilla and that. I think he is a kaiju.
Boom.
Yeah.
Well, this is sort of what I was getting to the point too. I reckon the reason they're there is this whole China versus America, East versus West thing. It's a bit of a front as to why they have to be militarized all the time and why they're always heavily armed. And really, leaders don't want to tell us that there's these big fuck off Godzilla cunts lingering in the sea around like the China seas. And I mean, we're shown Godzilla and shit like that as like a worst comes to worst scenario, so we're prepared. Basically, if Godzilla does come, we need play Jamiroquai very loud because that was the soundtrack to Godzilla. You need to generally stay away from New York.
And find yourself a cinema where all of its eggs are.
Yeah, or stay the fuck away from cinemas because fuck going near the eggs. Basically, they never attack. This is something, right, that's never brought up enough. Why do these beasts never attack shit places?
I don't know. Maybe they can sense how many people are knocking about.
Yeah, but, like, King Kong goes to New York, right? Didn't want to destroy anyone. Like, he just
wanted to climb. He just wanted a bit of a workout, didn't he?
And that lass. He just wanted to book her. He just wanted to book her and fucking hit his chest a bit and go, ooh. But Godzilla comes to land. I know she/he, it's both, comes to lay eggs. But, like, there's so much down the East Coast it could have gone to. Like, you never see fantastical beasts in Wolverhampton. Boston. Well, you even went Boston's still good. We know that. People in America don't know Wolverhampton. Like, nothing's... Exactly. Hull. Hull. What
Just
an
come for the Humber, mate.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a massive fucking bridge, like ideal setting. It's away from the rest of the country pretty much. Ideal place for a fantastical mythical beast to pop up and start doing shit without anyone knowing because it's Hull. Why don't they? Why? How do they know? Basically, I think mythical creatures are attention seekers.
It could be. I mean, you could also argue, though, that they get seen more easily where there's more people. And maybe it's, for whatever reason, maybe it's easier to believe a New Yorker over whatever a person from Hull's called. A Hullian? A Hooligan? A hooligan? Hooligan? I don't know what you would call them. A hooligan? I don't know. I'm probably just going to piss off people in the northeast.
Whoa! You've pissed off people in the northeast by saying Hull's in the northeast, mate. What the fuck
Is
are you
Hull not
talking
in
about?
the northeast?
No.
Well, Hull was northeast.
No. It's
Just east.
yeah. That's better.
Fair.
It's like what I'd say is like Yorkshire way, but it's quite like South Yorkshire out there. It's nowhere near up here.
Fucking hell.
I completely refute that statement.
Well, no, don't get angry, because now we've actually given the people listening a fact.
That's the first thing you can take away from 3 episodes of this show.
Yeah.
We're 3
done well.
episodes in, and we've got some truth.
Yeah.
You can take that home with you. That's in the bank. Yeah, I mean, I'm all for more destruction to happen to places that we don't really know about, that don't matter in the world. I'm all for that. And other geopolitical factors. Where's the other place that's contested? One of them is. So a lot of them are where people protect paths that come through mountain ranges, or another hotly contested area or protected area is the Suez Canal, which basically helps you from cutting out all of travelling round South America to get to the other side of the country for goods. Now, all good and well. These could be for trade, but what else could we be fighting over? Why else could we really need these areas?
They might just genuinely need the water, and they're like, you know what, we can use this water not just to drink, but like you can, like when you build, like, oh, fucking hell, what was it called? Wild West Country, I think it was called. It was a documentary about a cult.
Wild Country.
Wild Country. And what they did was they managed to bring in loads of green, lush land to a barren place by fucking with the local river. They started digging channels from the river down to where their land was and through their land, and it brought greenery there. Obviously, it'll have effects further downstream, I would imagine, but it moves that. So if you've got control of the river lines, and I would imagine you've probably got control of what grows in the area.
Oh, 100%. Like, that's why all sort of areas, all cities and towns, etc., build off the nearest water supply.
Yeah.
Look at like America. When you look at the formation of America, all the coasts were done first because people had access to water and access to the sea for transport and for every other reason, for trade, etc., etc. So that makes a lot of sense. But I mean, we're not really here to talk sense.
Oh, you want like what could be living in the water that they want to keep?
I'm going to put it to you.
Them little fish though that swim up your dick, don't they live in South America?
Yeah, it's one of the many reasons I'll never go.
They might be trying to source them, you know, because they might be wanting to like infect swimming baths. Because look like what's going on now. They've closed down the swimming baths and that, mate. And maybe this is why. Maybe so that they can collect all the fish that swim up your dick, and like maybe some like tiny little, or they've managed to genetically engineer some tiny little alligator snapping turtles as well, because I think they're American, and they're just going to release them into like fucking Victoria Baths in Manchester and that.
What the fuck's the point in them fish? Why?
They don't know. They just want somewhere to be, don't they?
Yeah, but
any hole's a goal.
That's something. When you're having like ideological debates with religious heads, that is like just one animal I'd bring up straight away. I go, okay, all right. So benevolent, all loving God He
What
put
about
all
the
the
reverse
animals.
sperm fish?
He put all the animals. What about this fucking dick piranha? Why does the dick piranha exist? Explain this to me, oh devout Christian lover, Mr. God lover. Why is there a little fish that's only purpose in life is to seek out? I don't even know if it does it to other animals or if it's just humans.
They used to have loads of manatees in South America, loads of stuff like that, didn't they? In the rivers, like river manatees and stuff, and loads of mad fucking aquatic mammals, like massive aquatic mammals lived there. So what if these fish were put there, maybe transported there from somewhere else, from like a random pond or lake, and put there to kill off these larger mammals, so that they could be like, right, now we don't have to worry about the manatee coming and smashing up our newly built like colonial wooden buildings. And it could just be, well, it wouldn't be colonial, would it though, in South America? It'd be whatever the Spanish were called.
I'll put it to you that the reason that these fish weren't just evolved into existence, they're a man-made creation. They're much like AIDS, SARS, Corona. It's all man-made, population control shit. But this was like a particular like Bond villain twisted style scientist being like, oh, mwahaha, Mr. Bond, we will control them through the penis. And they just got a regular guppy, and just and basically just let them live in tanks filled with dicks.
Do you reckon that's why they use the guppy then? Because the male guppy's there, is it dimorphic or something? Sexually dimorphic, I can't remember the word. The males are smaller than the females, basically. So they use the guppy because it's already feeling insignificant because it's smaller than its female counterpart. And it's going to swim up dicks that are bigger than it already is.
It's seeing a big dick and it's like,
so
it's
it's got the spite we're living within it.
It's the only
Maybe a
chance.
Just a spiteful fish.
It's the only... the most spiteful of all fish.
He's the most prolific breeder. £2.50 for a fish that hates you.
Quid? Well, even £2.50. I remember getting them for like 50
that's
pence
them
quid.
northern prices.
Yeah. Budget guppies, mate.
Down
These ones, that they don't go for the dick. They go for the dick, but they end up in the balls. It's a right
but they just
fucked
end
up
up sucking it.
Yeah.
It turns out they're a roach.
No, you'd pay more for that. You pay £3 for the sucking guppy.
£3 on a blowing roach.
Yeah, this one goes to the balls and just stays in till the next time you ejaculate, and then some unfortunate lady gets hit with a guppy.
Oh, it goes inside too, the balls. I thought you just meant it like a fucking lump sucker kind of thing, just on your testicle.
It goes to the balls where piss is stored. That's right, innit? Piss is stored in the balls. Yeah, we're gonna go with that.
As someone that takes apart animals, I can say yeah, that's definitely
it's
where
one
it
of
comes
you've got to
from.
be very careful when you cut open a scrotum because you're just gonna get covered in piss, very covered in piss.
Well, that's why your scrotum gets bigger, doesn't it? Just before you have a piss, and then it goes down in size as you're weeing until it goes like thin, like a closed book.
When was the last time you saw a doctor?
Oh, I think I was about 5.
It's overdue. I reckon it's overdue. Either that or just next time you see that happening, just take like a sewing pin and just stick a couple of holes in the sack. Trust it drains twice as fast and you don't have that issue.
I've already learnt by sticking things in it. I've learnt if I pick the scabs, then the balls don't go down in size.
Yeah. On a side note, but also a second bit of truth for the day, I nicked my balls shaving once, and it's never fully healed. Never fully healed. Like, because of that skin, because of obviously the nature of that skin, and it's never in the same state for more than a few seconds with the constant retraction and relaxing. There's always just like a little tiny little cut there. It stings like a cunt. Well, it doesn't. It stings like a sliced ball. But, like, I don't recommend it on anyone. Just, honestly, lads, just stay afro-y down there, because it's trying to be groomed for a lady. It's not a pretty sight. It's not a pretty sight. And it bleeds. It bleeds a lot. Now, another area that's brought up in geopolitics, somewhere that we've all fought over for a very long time, somewhere that our Rusky boys, our brethren, our comrades from out east, tried to lay claim to not too long ago with quite a...
Robin Island.
Well, no, I was going to say the Antarctic or the Arctic. They went and planted a flag down there, didn't they? Well, yes. Yeah, I'm going to tell you they did. Was it the Arctic? I believe it's the Arctic. Which one's the top one? It's the Arctic, isn't it?
Yeah. Antarctica, I think the top one.
Is it?
Oh, no, the Arctic Circle. Yeah, the Arctic Circle
yeah.
what touches fucking Alaska. So it must be.
Yeah. So they went down to the seabed in the Arctic and planted a Russian flag there, basically, to try and lay claim to the Arctic, which is, I mean, it's bold. It's very Russian. It's a very Russian thing to do. Like, planting a flag somewhere and claiming it was very 400 years ago.
I don't know, they did it with the moon, didn't they?
Yeah.
And that's pretty much attached to us. And someone felt the need to go and say, oh, we'll go and say that's ours before anyone else has it.
What's even funnier is, like, no one ever goes there, and they still felt the need to go, hey, in case someone else does come here, and the chances are if anyone else does, it'll just be us again, let's leave a fucking flag up there to make sure if anyone else does, that we got there first.
Like the shit houses in school that would only ever scratch at the feet of the underside of a desk.
Dickheads. If you don't do the top, if you don't put your name and the S, and everyone knows the S I'm thinking of, if you don't put that S in a desk when you're doing an exam, wasted school life. It should have been an automatic F on any exam you ever did. Wankers. The Arctic. Everyone tries to lay claim to it. Again, somewhere else where everyone says there's a fucking shitload of resources. However, there's also rumours over the years of Arctic bases and a whole lot of frozen mythological beasts and creatures lingering there. Feed me Arctic information. What the fuck's going down there, Jack? Tell me the truth.
I know there's one end of the poles where there's supposed to be little clearings of ice where there's supposed to be civilizations and massive mythological animals and that, where they just fucking live as if nothing else exists, which kind of, I think, gives some credence, not a lot of credence, but some, to the flat earth idea, because the flat earthers kind of believe that all of existence is on a massive plane. So imagine like a pasting table, but like a brand new pasting table, so it's not got all them bubbles on it yet. It looks quite nice. And then imagine that on top of that you've put a little bit of plastic or something around the edge of it, and you've filled it with polystyrene. And then you take out little dents of polystyrene, and it would leave dents in what would be like the metaphorical ice. I should have said the polystyrene is ice, the table is the plane of existence. In them dents anyway, in this ice, is supposed to be what the flat earthers refer to as like worlds. So they've got Earth, and then fucking, I don't think they really believe in like Mars, Uranus or all of that, but they believe that there's different pockets of existence, if you like, within the ice. So maybe the Arctic is just one of them, but we acknowledge it as the Arctic, and we acknowledge Antarctica as Antarctica because we already know they exist, and we can see them on pictures because people have drawn them for hundreds of years. So people know it's there, whereas they just say, oh, but there's only the two. There's no more, there's only the two because the Earth's a circle, a ball.
Yeah, it's a disc still. Now, the thing is, with the flat Earth theory, if I'm not wrong, don't they believe that the Earth is laid out like the UN flag has the Earth laid out?
Yeah, but what we refer to as the Earth, yeah. But they also think then on the Earth, say, imagine like away from that flag, everything that's not that flag is, well, they all fucking, it's like any religion, they all split and there's loads of divergence.
I get that. What I was getting to was which one of the poles is the outside and which one's the centre, because I know one is meant to be like basically an ice island in the very centre of the map, and then the other one is meant to be...
South.
Is that the South Pole? The middle?
Antarctic, the wall. The Antarctic wall, they call it, don't they?
Right, so the wall... Yeah, that's what I was wondering if the Arctic's the wall or not, because I mean that
But it
would.
could be, though, couldn't it? It could be a wall, just we're in between two walls, but we acknowledge the inside of the Arctic because it's easier to see what's within there because it's smaller than us.
Well,
Whereas
well,
we can't say there's something outside of Antarctica because it's fucking massive. Because we fit inside it like the whole of a donut does.
see, my point was going to be that the reason that that's such a fought over area is it's not, but they're just trying to convince no one to go there because that's where the barrier is. A bit like the Truman Show. And if anyone was to go there, they'd get there and be like, oh, like there's a wall. What the fuck's this wall? And just tap on it, and then they realise they come to the edge. And that would ruin the whole round Earth theory. Yes, round Earth theory.
It would. Make a balls up of it all. They wouldn't know what to do with it.
It wouldn't ball it up. It would do the opposite. It would flatten it out.
Unscrunch it. Unscrunch the Earth.
It would unscrunch the Earth, which in this year of 2020, it's.
I mean,
it's
has
in
anyone
need.
got that for December?
It is. It's in need of a good unscrunching. I'll be honest. We could do with shaking it loose and wringing it out, and then sticking it on the radiator for a bit.
Let it shrink back down like the chamois that it really is.
Jesus, with its crinkles and its little tea stain that you never could get out, and just let it go back to what it once was. Back when I were a bairn, right? That's what I say. Back when Andy Peters was on Blue Peter, Connie Hook. Mate, I'll get him in every fucking episode. Don't you worry, son. He'll become. I'll be honest. I'm striving to one day have him on here. But what I aim for Truth Seeking is for one day you and I and Andy Peters just sat here
just chatting shit.
discussing
Watching
the ins and outs
his career.
of the 33 degrees of masonry and the Hollywood paedophile rings, and Andy Peters is just there fucking talking on a vape, being like, hey, when I went to the Brits once, right? Yeah, should have seen Judi Dench with that 4-year-old. Jeez! She used him like a bastard toothpick. He was in and out of her mouth like you fucking don't know what. And me and you'll just be sat going, well, Andy, like, I thought you were going to bring us some PVA glue and we'll make some paper mache sandcastles. Yeah. Have you heard of defamation of character? Because you're spending a nice holiday away at Her Majesty's pleasure, son. Yeah, he'll be here. Andy, I reckon he's got some knowledge. He's got some information from his time in the British limelight, and he always strikes us as someone that's. He's never actively taken part, but he's kept quiet. Just for his own safety.
I reckon a lot of them probably do that, though.
I
think most people would, innit? Like, say if you've got a kid, or even if you've just got a missus or a fella, and they're like, wow, whoa, hang about, though. If you tell people that we've been fucking repping dogs round the back of the fucking warehouse, then what's going to happen is we're just going to kill your partner. And you're like, all right, well, or even worse, I mean, the better threat wouldn't be, oh, I'm going to kill your missus. It'd be, oh, I'm going to kill your mother-in-law, or I'm going to kill your father-in-law or something, wouldn't it? Because then that destroys everyone's life. It destroys your life because you've caused that. Whereas at the same time, they've destroyed your partner's life and your relationship because your partner would inevitably find out that their parent died because of you not being able to keep your mouth shut. And they wouldn't care that you've tried to save kids or save the world or whatever. They're just going to care that their parent's dead. So they destroy everything. And then no one trusts you either because everyone thinks you're a grass.
I mean, Nah. I reckon I'll win in that situation because guess what? I've still got parents. And then I go to my parents and I go, hey, I've done this thing. And I try to expose the paedophile nonce lizard elite. And they said they were going to kill someone in return. And they killed me parents-in-law. And my mum and dad would look at me and go, well, thanks, son. Thank you very much. Like we didn't want to die. We still have a son. You still have parents. Oh, it's pretty shit on Jamie, but she'll make do. She's always a room for it here for her. It's fine. She'll get over it. And I reckon things will be all right. So
that's how they recruit, though, isn't it? Then they recruit Jamie to their side. Not your parents. It's not getting like a weird little thing going on there.
Little family business.
Saying that the evil people would then recruit Jamie, and turn her into some form of assassin. Or I don't want to.
Mate, it's a theory I've had for a while. I reckon she is already.
Ooh.
I'm telling you, it doesn't add up. She's very successful. She has a long-term job. She has goals. She's a beautiful lady. She's got everything going for her. And that makes zero sense as to why she's with me. So the only reason can be that she is. We've discussed this. This is why you can't find me on when you try to tag us on anything online. I am blacklisted. I'm probably on several watch lists. In the same week, I bought a balaclava and a book on the iconography of terrorist organisations. And that was just a typical week. So it's safe to say I'm on a few watch lists. It only makes sense that they've got some sort of agent watching over us, and the only way to really do that close up was to infiltrate my love life. So, if you're listening, Jamie, I know, it's all right. I can learn to speak Russian or whatever language you actually speak, if you like. Mandarin, possibly, maybe. But we'll work through it, is all I'm saying.
Well, it's nice to hear that you're so in love with Jamie and you've dedicated 5 minutes of the show to her, bro. I'm sure the listeners are loving that. Jamie, if you're listening, I think that 5 minutes equates to the offer of a ring. I think we'll get that out the way now.
No, it definitely doesn't. It offers to the please don't call the hit. Please don't call the hit.
Don't let it end too soon.
Yeah. I mean, we've cracked geopolitics, really. This is the real hard-hitting stuff that I tell you what, it's not in that book. It's not in that book at all. What do you think about...
that wrote It's a Shield?
What do you think about Africa? Tread carefully.
Well, I've heard.
Go on.
No, I don't know. Like, in what sense? Like, fucking people think it's like the cradle of civilization, don't they? But other people think that's Antarctica. So...
I mean,
is that a massive inversion?
Theories
actually is.
Theories I've come to know since are that civilization actually sprouted up in different pockets at around the same time. So Africa was a massive hub of that, but pockets also cropped up in Scandinavian area, possibly Turkey. South America. Yeah, Turkey, Göbekli Tepe. Yep, and the ancient Sumerians. So you've got a good argument that there was a massive part that sprung up in Africa, but it wasn't the sole source of everything. However, there's one thing, and it is probably just through whiteness and lack of exposure to this side of mythology, but you don't hear of much, or I've never heard of much, African mythology or mythological beasts and creatures from Africa.
Yeah, there's some. There's a fucking giant spider. I heard that on a podcast a few months ago.
You've not just been watching Wild Wild West with Will Smith, Jim West.
I don't think I've ever seen that. No, I don't think I've ever seen that.
Are you for real?
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen that. I know the song in it, but I've never seen the film.
It's one of the best bad films.
Is it? No.
Massive mechanical spider that makes no sense. It's not ergonomic. There are far better contraptions you could build to do the job that bloke wants it to do. Will Smith's like a bad Django before Django. He's like a family-friendly, happy-go-lucky Django before Django. You're looking at us with such a puzzled look there.
And trying to see in my head how that would work, because most of Django's pretty dark. So it's just Will Smith riding a horse.
It's just cowboy Will Smith, yeah.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
That makes sense for why it's called Wild Wild West, doesn't it?
Yeah. Right. No, it's actually about that cult.
You've not explained any of the...
It's about that cult. Yeah, I have. I said there's a giant mechanical spider. That's pretty much all you need.
That's all you've given me, and that it's like Django. So there's a massive spider, and there's a load of slaves, and
there's a massive spider, and Leonardo DiCaprio makes black men fight each other to the death.
Oh,
that's the premise of Wild Wild. Yeah, and then he sinks at the end because there's a boat sinking in the desert, and Kate Winslet won't let him on
in every film.
Mate, he manages to get in every film, right? Leonardo, if you look closely, it's like a trivia thing. If you take a card next time, like a bingo card, and mark this down, in every Leonardo DiCaprio film, there's the Titanic. There's a massive boat that sinks. There's him. There's a meme. There's a frame that later in life becomes a meme. There's him making black people fight to the death. Basically, he's a horrible individual. And a beach. A beach. That is a very, very shit one at the end. But yeah. That's a shout to the beach. Yeah.
But fucking the what about them with the idea then with what you're saying there? I think this might just be my own form of psychosis that I'm slowly cultivating, but I am starting to believe more and more that the television's sort of talking to me, because I keep watching programs and they all seem pretty similar. Like I watched a cartoon today called Blood of Zeus, and that seemed to tell a lot of similar stories to other things I've watched. Like I've watched like cartoons on vampires in that. And that's where I get most of my information from, is from cartoons. and it might just be that the algorithm with Netflix is really trying to fucking break my mind, or that I need to watch something else, maybe the odd sitcom or something. But they all seem the same. Like even in this Blood of Zeus, they wanted to make a weapon out of something called adamantine or something like that.
That's a real thing, isn't it?
I don't know. I didn't think it was. I thought it was something that was made up for Marvel.
Yeah, sorry, that's it. It's a substance that's made. Oh, is it adamantium?
Adamantium in Marvel, yeah, but in this it was called adamantine or adamantine, something like that.
Adamantine is a word for unable to be broken.
Oh, is that all that means? Oh, that makes sense then, doesn't it?
It's.
I was going to say in Avatar, you've got unobtainium.
Hang on,
in Avatar.
yeah.
But it's always the same.
Adamantine. Presumably, adamantine was the material used by the gods to chain Prometheus. So, adamantine is a mythological substance. It's used to describe like metals, but it was known as the metal of the gods. So it is a mythological substance, but from ancient mythology. Whereas we've made up stuff for Marvel, like unobtainium and shit like that.
It in.
Yeah, this is the original. What it seems like.
No, this is why everything seems so similar, doesn't it? Because it's all just taken from the same fucking stories.
Well, this is it. Like, if you go back to like when I was a kid, 90s kids TV was fucking rudged. Like, there was no similar story between Pingu and the Moomins. Both of those, in their respective senses, were fucking weird. Pingu was rude as fuck, swore loads. The Moomins, right? Me and my mates watched the Moomins on acid when I was at uni, and there's an episode where they take this dead kid, right? They carry this dead kid for fucking ages, pretty much throughout the whole episode. They take it to a horse, and the horse sniffs the dead child. Unless that was just acid, like
it could be.
That happened in that episode, and it was fucking freaky. Like 90s kids TV, there was no same message through everything. Like there might have been positive messages to be taken from it, but they were all just fucking strange people who just had bought like writers' rooms full of psychedelic drugs and just be like, yeah, let's just fucking knock this animation together for the kids. And then now, like, I don't watch kids TV, but like with the clips of cartoons and that you do see, it's very formulaic.
I find it's good to watch though, because then you've got something to talk to them about.
I mean, I just get them in the van as soon as possible.
I like that bit of,
the less they say, the better. No, I go very old school and approach them with a large fishing net. I'm wearing full, like, Nigel Thornberry, safari gams. Like, like the beige hat, beige shirt, beige shorts.
Mark's glasses with the moustache and nose.
Nigel Thornberry from the Wild Thornberrys. Yeah, that's basically me with a massive net, just chasing kids.
Fair.
What else are you going to do on a Sunday?
No,
I mean,
the shops are open now. It's not like when we were a kid, but
it's slim pickings now because of Corona. But it makes it all the better when you get one.
Aye, something more to enjoy, innit? I guess. We should probably change this because this is going to be a fucking weird final thought.
Yeah, I was going to say we're in the last 60 seconds, and we've waited to get on to
evolve to this.
We've waited to get to the last minute till we talk about noncery, which is the last thought that's going to linger in people's minds. So, before we pass over to Chode's Liberal Paradise, which is following next, you got any sort of signing off points? Any geopolitical issues?
Well, I think there is a geopolitical reason why everyone is fighting each other all the time, and I think it's because they're trying to find this old illusionary magician, like a sorcerer, that was called Koshé. And it's because they can't find him, so they're searching everywhere because his soul got hidden inside another person's body. Then it got put in a needle, which the needle got shoved inside an egg. And then someone shoved that egg back inside a duck. Someone grabbed that duck and shoved it up a hare, sealed it in a golden chest, laid it underneath a green oak tree on an island called Bouillon, which disappears into the mists of the oceans.
Where the
So
fuck's
that might be
from?
why they're trying to fight for the waters and the seas. They might be trying to find Bouillon so they can rebring this sorcerer back to life.
Where's this theory from?
A lovely fella on YouTube.
I mean, send us that. But
Okay.
is that based on anything at all?
Yeah, it's based on a legend, an old Slavic legend.
Right, so
about
that's where
Koshé.
that's what I mean. That's where it's from. It's from Slavic history.
Yeah. Which got
Um,
then interpreted into like Russian mythos. Is that the word?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then spread throughout.
Well, I honestly think they've all been there for years just to protect Epstein's Island, and I think that the actual reason we've got all these ships about is Epstein's Island is just the one we know about. All these little like islands are actually like nonce HQs.
Or if there's a whole continent of it, though, never mind an island. Like they've let us know about the island because there's actually, I don't know.
I think
What a good name for an
no,
island.
I think the world exists. I think the world exists as we see it on a map. As we see it on a map. So I don't think there's any extra ones there. But I think all the little countries all the little islands that you're like, oh, what's that? Christmas Island and Easter Island and all that thing. All the ones
That's why
that
they make them sound so nice, innit? So
Yeah.
it attracts the kids.
Yeah. Well,
Scumbags, mate.
it just puts them off. That like he lived on Saint whatever, like he lived on a Saint Island, which is you can't get more than religion. Oh, it's very trustworthy. It's not. They're the biggest nonsense. And basically, I think the navies patrol the seas to make sure that we, the public, don't stumble upon these international nonce islands where the rich and famous basically go on their version of an 18 to 30s holiday, and it's an 18 to 30 months holiday of the kids they're shagging. And that has been episode 3 of Truth Seeking, leaving you on a high note. Would you like to say bye to the people?
See you in a bit.
Right, and I'm going to say...
Chode, follow that.
Yeah, go on, Chode. Bring your liberal paradise. Just how liberal is your paradise? And our children welcome. I'll see you later.